Hi all, so today I'm here to do a video on lists in Python language to be specific. Why Python? Because Python is a very beginner friendly language. And now coming to what is list and why do we need list to be specific enough? Because we need list to store and manipulate data that's available across the web. So yeah, that's why we need list and we are beginning with this in Python. So what is a Python list? List is basically a container that can hold a lot of values. For example, usually how a single variable can hold a single value. For example, x equal to 10, index, we get the value 10 printed. That's it. X equal to 20, or maybe y equal to 20, then we get 20 printed. So these two values are consuming two different data locations in memory. So what if we need to store them together? That's where list come into play. So instead of giving like this, we could just write L equal to 10, 20, where these two values get stored in contiguous memory locations. So when we print this, we get the value 10 and 20. So this is how usually lists are represented in Python using square brackets. Now list maintain the order of elements based on their insertion. If I insert an element right now, maybe append is the function that we use to insert elements to the list. So it just gets added to the end of the list. And if I write print value, okay, then I just get the value 10, 20, 30. So now they are mutable. You can change, add or remove items after creating list in Python. Maybe if you want to change the first because they are immutable. But this is possible with list. You can change, you can add or you can remove elements you want. Now we can store data of different data types in a list. For example, this is a great example. My underscore list equal to 1 comma Python comma 3.14. Here we are storing data with three different data types. One being an integer, Python being a string, 3.14 being a float value. So if I print my underscore list, it won't throw an error because this is possible in Python. You can store data of different data types in list in Python. Now an empty list is usually denoted by small square brackets, that is L equal to x. Yeah. And basically it does that thing. Now coming to the indexing part, we have a lot of elements here. So how do we access each element, or how do we reach that element in a list? So we have indices for that. We have for in Python we have forward indexing as well as backward indexing. So in case of forward indexing, the first index is 0 and the last index is length of the list minus 1. So in this case, maybe I'll illustrate my underscore list of 0 will return the value 1. That means it will return the first element present in my underscore list. That's basically 1. If I change it to 1, it will return 5. And if I give 2, it will give 3.14. Here we see the length of the list is 3. That is, it holds 3 values, 1 item and 3.14. So forward indexing starts from 0 and ends at 2. What if we give my underscore list of 3? It will throw an index error. Yeah. And it is just that it's out of range. You don't have an element at that index. Now backward indexing. The last element gets the index minus 1 and the rest of the elements just follow it. So if I give my underscore list of -1, it definitely prints the last element, that is 3.14 here. If I give -2, I get Python. If I give -3, I get 1. So in case of backward indexing, backward index starts from -1 and ends at minus of length of an element. Now, what are the methods? So first being append. Append just adds elements to the end of the list. So maybe if I give 30 and if I print my underscore list, I get 1 Python 3.14 and 30. Yeah. Now, what's the use of insert? Insert is basically to insert an element before a specified index. So if I give 2 comma 30, it adds 30 before the element at index 2. Here, element at index 2 is 3.14 as we know. This is 0th index, first index, second index. And just before 3.14, the 30 gets added. So 1 Python 30 and 3.14. This is the use of insert. Now, how about we give remove? If I write remove, it just gets removed from the list. That's it. Now, the next function pop, very important. So, how is pop different from remove? So, coming to the syntax of pop, it's just like you give my underscore list dot pop of a specified index. You give either an index, or if you just leave it empty, the last element gets popped. Here, if I print these values, so take a minute, think about it. Pause the video, think about it. What will be the output? This is the difference between remove and pop. Actually, both elements get removed from the list. What pop does is that, what pop does additionally is that it returns the removed element and you can store it in a variable if you want. So here I have stored it, and if I print it, I get 3.14. Obviously, after removing one, the list becomes Python and 3.14. Since I gave the pop function without an argument, it just removed the last element from the current list, that is 3.14, and returned to the program and stored it in the variable x. So when I print the variable x, I get the value 3.14. Now, sort function. Sort function is basically used to sort the elements present in the array. If it's a number of if it's a list of numbers, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just sorts in ascending or descending order as we wish. Like if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45 maybe, and I give my underscore list dot sort. It just sorts in ascending order. So 1, 2, 3, 45. If I give reverse equal to true, it sorts in descending order. So 45, 3, 2, 1. This is the use of sort. Now, if it's a string, if it's a list of strings, you may ask what if it's a list of strings A, B, C, C, D, E, comma, E, F, G. Looks at the first element of each string and then in alphabetical order read. So here E, F, G, C, D, E, A, B, C. I hope I'm clear. Now, coming to time complexity, it's a very important topic when it comes to competitive programming. This is what helps us to classify algorithms. Uh, it's used to measure the efficiency of any algorithm. So if its time complexity is less, it means it's time efficient. So this is used in a wide range in competitive programming. So appending and indexing are extremely fast. So it just takes bigger of one, to be honest. And insertion and deletion requires shifting of elements. Basically, when we insert an element, all the elements starting from that index needs to be shifted to the next index. Maybe if you are adding to the second index, the current element at the second index need to be shifted to the third, maybe the third to the fourth, and so on. So at the worst case, the time complexity could be big of n. That is, it could be really complex. It's really time consuming. So big of n is the fastest for the time being. Big of n is the fastest. Big of n is the slowest uh, algorithm. Like if an algorithm is big, has a time complexity of big of n, it's extremely fast. If it's big of n, then it's extremely slow. We don't prefer that usually. Yeah, so both in case of insertion and deletion, it might go up to big of n. Now, coming to the part of list comprehension, this is an efficient way to create list in Python. So, usually, maybe even this program, usually how we notate is that for x in range 10, with x more 2 equal to 0, square should be initialized first as an array to which we will then append square dot append x square. Instead of writing the whole code, you can simplify it to a simple line saying square maybe 2 value. You see, both of these lists are just the same, it's just syntactically different. So that's the use of list comprehension. Definitely helps to reduce code. And coming to the part of nested list, this is just multi-dimensional array. That is, we create a list inside a list. This is used in case of graphs as well as matrices. When we want to represent matrices, we use them. Uh, we really use them. Now, again, as I mentioned, we have a lot of data structures coming up. This is just a beginning. List is preferred when you need an ordered sequence that changes frequently, that could be altered, and the coming data structures are tuple, set, and dictionary, which we'll definitely look into. Yeah, and that's it. Before we end the session, I want to demonstrate a small question as such in CP where we use array in specific. So we are given a sequence of integers. Maybe it is just a random sequence of integers a1, a2, a3. So we have to determine whether there is a possibility to possibility to obtain a permutation b1, b2, b3. It's just a permutation of a1, a2, a3 such that b1 into b2 equal to b3. Permutation means just an arrangement, a random arrangement. So the only thing that is given to us is we have three integers. So how do we proceed? So here, since we are given it's just three integers, maybe we could initialize it to each variable, like we could use three variables. But what I prefer is we use list for the same. So take a moment, think about it, and then continue watching. Okay, so to proceed with the question, since we are given there are only three images, we can use variables, but I prefer list more. Uh, that you will understand when I say the solution. Okay, so how do we receive a single line of input, just like here in Python? So this is how we receive a single line of input in Python. Map of int comma input dot split. It just creates it just splits the variable, the numbers based on spaces. And if we want, we can store it in a list, or just like given in line number 1, we can store it in 3 different variables. So I am preferring a list here. And then if you look at the question, clearly they want to check whether a permutation exists such that B1 into B2 equal to B3. Obviously, we know B3 will be the greatest number amongst B1, B2 and B3 since it's the product of the other two numbers. So, if we initialize it as a list, we could sort it and we could just check whether the last element, if we are sorting it in an ascending order, the last element, if it's the product of the other two elements, then yes, we could go for it, or else just print no. We could either sort in ascending or descending order. This is the solution of it. And this is all about list in Python.